My name is Deborah Dullen, and I am co-founder and president of BioTraceIT.
Thank you for this interview. Let's begin with a brief introduction of what BioTraceIT does.
Sure, absolutely. It's my pleasure, Flo. And thanks for having me on. BioTraceIT is an interesting company. We measure pain. And I think I say it's interesting because pain is a very interesting topic. It affects all of us. And if we look at chronic pain, it affects 1/3 of North America's population and 20% of the global population. So it's a big problem. And I guess I would have to say that I'm very grateful and proud of what the team has accomplished because BioTraceIT can measure pain. We utilize a wearable technology that applies sensors on the skin, and those sensors take on the electrical signal, which is a part of the actual pain neuroprocessing. And that neuroprocessing allows us to directly understand the individual's pain experience. We can see if you have an acute pain response. So for instance, if your physician, or in the case of veterinary care, a veterinarian is palpating a particular area, we see those changes and they are actual number values. So it's completely objective. And we can also see if you were feeling chronically painful as well and how that changes over time in relationship to a drug or a treatment regimen, whether it's a surgery or rehab, physiotherapy. So it's something that we are pleased to be able to share with the healthcare community.
So thanks, Deb. How would you describe Charlottetown's biosciences sector and what are its strengths and how do you see it developing going forward?
The way that I would describe the PEI BioAlliance and the biotech sector is that it is a thriving community. It is, number one, an amazing group of talented individuals who know the market. They are technically proficient, have a very deep level of experience in multiple fields, and they come at what they do with heart. As a company, when you're new and you're looking to grow, the support that you receive is paramount. And the individuals that we've worked with, whether it be via the government agencies such as IRAP or ACOA, Marlene Walker via IRAP, Jennifer White via ACOA, they're not only individuals that go out of their way to find what your program is, what your projects are, and how they integrate with the greater picture for Canada's economy and why there should be funding made available, because that's not only going to benefit the company and the project that you're working on, your company, but it also benefits Canada as a whole, because we have the ability then to grow the local economies. So that brings me to the next group of people, which are the mentors. So not only do we have people that are leaders, that are visionaries like Rory, we have individuals that are integrating with Can Health, Can Export, Butch Posta, also another major player that's helped us. They're bringing us connections with these programs, and those programs also connect us with other groups. So we're looking to work with Can Health, and we have individuals within different academic institutions throughout Canada that we can work with through that program. And as a result, not only do we benefit because we do more work to show that PainTrace, our product, is really worthwhile, but because PainTrace actually gives us insights into healthcare, the individuals that are working with us learn something new about healthcare, or about a treatment, or about the pain reaction, or about the chronic pain state that they had no idea about without an objective measurement. But we wouldn't be able to do any of this if we weren't interconnected.
Thanks, Deb. This was a great account. Now, I'm wondering, if I think about biosciences, there are probably a few more, let's say, hubs around the world. And I'm going to venture to guess that the others might be larger cities in countries like the US or Europe and maybe even Asia. How does Charlottetown then compete? And what sort of foreign companies are going to be looking at Charlottetown versus maybe somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that's a really excellent question. Thanks, Flo. Yeah, I think the reality is that it's what I touched on a second ago. Family, right? The fact that it is an intimate setting. You know the individuals that you're working with. You gain relationships with them that in a larger setting, such as a big city like Toronto, are not necessarily as accessible. And people are busy. People are very busy up on Prince Edward Island as well. But the key is that it has a mentality of being a part of each other's lives. And if you engage in that, you not only gain friendships, but you are working with people that have deep knowledge and deep connections. They're good at what they do. And so, from that perspective, there are small players and there are big players on Prince Edward Island. One of the largest animal health companies in the world, Elanco, is located on Prince Edward Island. And I'd say that they're a pretty big player, and they've chosen to be on Prince Edward Island, and there's a reason for that, because they want to work with an A team, and from all of my experience, that's exactly what Prince Edward Island offers. People that I work with and that I've had as my mentors on PEI, they're not just from Prince Edward Island. One of my mentors, Ken Rotundo, who also does work with a company he has, Mind Genomics. He's from Manhattan, originally. He's in New York. He actually lives in Syracuse, and we interact around horse racing. But the reality is that he's not from PEI, but he enjoys the individuals there on PEI, and they're working together, individuals that have mass global experience, are working together with the people that are local to PEI, because everybody on Prince Edward Island realizes that it's about the growth of the economy, and by having successful businesses within the PEI cluster, what that does is it creates jobs, it feeds the economy, it creates a more vibrant community, because there are more people there with, let's just face it, technical positions which pay well and are rewarding, and that creates a community that everybody wants to live in. So you want that diversity, and the people on Prince Edward Island know that.
Speaking of growth and jobs, investors are always going to be looking for talent when investing in a new jurisdiction. And I'm wondering, again, given the relative small size of Charlottetown and PEI in Canada and certainly North America, what is the availability of talent, and what is being done to continue to attract, to retain talent in the region?
I think that's a really good question for myself to answer, because, so BioTraceIT is, of course, a very technical business, and we deal with the Internet of Things. So it's a medical device that connects via Bluetooth, that connects to cloud computing, that uses AI. So if you want to be techie, there it is. And the reality is that we need individuals that are engineers, that are software engineers, hardware engineers, that are very technical. And we actually have a great group of people, and we're building. So again, it goes back to the network and the resources and the people. Vivian Beer is our human resources guru, I'll call her. And literally, she's constantly having a conversation with myself and one of my colleagues, Claire Zoff, to figure out who are we hiring and what type of talent do we need next. And she will go and aid us in finding that talent pool and making sure that we're filling the job requisitions that we're putting out. And furthermore, she's also a part of a strategy to make sure that there's proper training on topics that companies need for their employees to be able to grow and to nurture their skill sets. And we are able to input what we think would be a valuable new skill set, and then have a subject matter expert train on that. And that's something that is open access to the companies and to their employees.
What makes you confident that this region's biosciences sector is strong and is here to stay?
I think that they've already had successes. They already have global companies that are a part of that sector. And they have a lot of technology that is forthcoming that I think is going to actually be able to be globalized. Pain trace, hey, it's okay. But there are other diagnostics, and they're constantly, if you go on to their news feed, you can see that there's a new product being launched, a new partnership being launched constantly. There's a company, Somru, that's a part of the Bio Alliance, and they just announced that they have formed a partnership with the largest CRO in India, Vida, so there are, little companies on Prince Edward Island that are partnering with the largest clinical research organizations in India. That's a pretty big deal. So I think that it's, you asked me, why do I think that this particular sector has the ability to grow, and why do I think that it's going to be able to have lasting power? And it's because of the people, the knowledge that they have. They are recruiting companies that are capable, that have something innovative, and that have the possibility to grow globally. And that will in turn bring back more success and more success. Again, it's just an ecosystem.
Makes a lot of sense. And finally, if you only had 30 seconds to pitch to investors about PEI as an investment destination in biotech and life sciences, what would you say in 30 seconds?
So this is what I would say. If you're an investor that is looking to bring a company or invest in a company on Prince Edward Island, what I would suggest is take into account that you have deep knowledge, an amazing network, individual attention, and funding. You're the big fish in the little pond. That's it. And it's really easy to get lost in the shuffle in a big ocean, or drown, even worse. But if you're in the small pond, you have a chance to grow into a big fish.